let's break down string crossing on the violin. There are three ways to cross the strings, but let's look at the basic way, is that there are various angles. So I have a 5-string, you might have a 4-string, so you can divide the angles into 4 rather than 5. So let me go to my last string, and with the angles you want to look at my upper arm, my elbow, as well as my forearm. So this, okay, if I were to come to the next string, you see I am changing the angle. So the angles are basically formed by your shoulder, and you can look at it on your upper arm and elbow. So basically these are the angles at which the string crossing happens. Okay? That's one thing that you need to be conscious of. Now, as we move from the shoulder to our fingers, there is a division of labor. The faster you want to do something, you want to be doing it closer to the bow. Okay? So, which is closer to the bow? Is it your elbow and your shoulder, or is it your wrist? The obvious answer is to go for the wrist when you're playing something faster. If you're doing this with the angles on the elbow, it's a little tough. It gets affected. It's like trying to switch something on with everything locked, rather than just do this. If you were to do this, you know the difference, right? So you want to make sure that this joint and the fingers is a bit advanced. That's the third way. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but you want to make sure that these joints also cooperate in the string crossing, which makes it easy to create a faster motion rather than something like this. Okay, you see the difference? All violin movements are circular and are like very wavy in ways. So if you see what I'm doing with the wrist, I'm only going to give you a brief. We have to cover this more advanced sort of a thing in a separate video. But basically what I'm doing is I'm going to a lower wrist. Lower wrist is when the wrist is below the bow. Upper wrist is when the wrist is above the bow. So I want to go for a lower wrist to go to a lower string. Okay, upper wrist to go to an upper string. And if you want to see how it looks here, so the angle of the bow also changes, and when I'm going for an upper wrist to the upper string, you see that the bow wood is almost touching the string on the opposite side of the bridge, and when it's the opposite direction, you're looking at the bow wood almost touching the string closer to the bridge. So these are two clues that you can help to do this motion. Let me tell you, it's not like the bike accelerator, it's more like a doorknob. Okay, it's a combination of both, I would say, but you don't want to do this because you're going to remain on the same string. While doing that motion, you want to go to the next string. So this is the motion. You look at my wrist, and once you master this and do some exercises, the third way, as I said, is fingers. That's a bit more advanced than the wrist, so I will let it go for a while, just saying that the fingers can also help to sort of move or help the motion along a little bit. Outside of these three things, let's look at where you are playing your bowing. So there are three ways to bow, as you know: at the point, at the middle, at the heel, and obviously there is the lower middle and the upper middle. So there's the various points to play, but these three are sort of the three different parts of the bow, right? What happens when you come closer to the middle is that it becomes easier to cross strings. It's much easier than, you see the amount of movement I need to make on my right elbow. Okay, this is a lot, but as I come closer to the middle, it's much lesser. It's, of course, it's least in the heel, but it's a little tougher to play in the heel. So I would say middle upper middle, if you can play lower middle, great. So this somewhere around the middle is a good place to play fast string crossing. So that's so much easier then. So the more the motion that happens, it's tough to get a clean sound, because economy of movement is very important in violin. You don't want to move too much to create a sound. So I hope this helps you to break down some aspects of a string crossing, and of course in a later video or in a workshop or in an intensive we will deal with how to exactly get the wrist motion and possibly even the finger motion right. Hey, thank you for checking Indosoul Academy video. And if you want to subscribe to Indosoul Academy, click on the subscribe button here. And very importantly, like if you like our videos, share, and to help it reach many more people. If you want to register for one of our offline or online courses, click on the link in the description to know more. See you all soon.